What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Lesser Athletes. My name is Chadwell, and today, like always, an interesting video for you here on the channel. Today is my Star 2025 predictions for WrestleMania 41. Now, here's the thing, like always, WrestleMania 41 is actually one of the hardest cards to predict right now. I feel like, and I keep thinking this, I feel like this time last year, I could have easily predicted what was going to happen. Maybe there was a little bit of question marks. Maybe there was a little bit of things going on. I could have still predicted what was going on, what was going to happen. But right now, I'm kind of a little clueless. I don't know. I know there's going to be some seeds. And then when we watch it back, we understand, oh, those seeds were there for that. I'm a little clueless. I'm a little like, what is going to happen? What is going to go on? So we have a lot of predictions. They are not all going to be on the card unless the WrestleMania card is like 10 matches for each night. We're going to talk about each potential, how did they get to this place? Where do they go? And then we're going to also talk about, maybe not how did they get there, but also do I think they're going to actually be there? So let's get started with, we're going to go for championships first. And the first one that I have to think about is John Cena, what's going to happen with him. And so we're going to start off with Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. I think this is a match that's more than likely going to happen. I expect John Cena to win the Elimination Chamber. I'm purposely getting this video out before the, before Royal Rumble and Saturday Night's main event. I am just in the camp that believes that Cody Rhodes versus John Cena is more than likely going to happen than John Cena versus Gunther. I thought Gunther versus John Cena was the one that made the most sense, but I think they're going to pivot and go Cody Rhodes versus John Cena because I don't think they're going to go Randy and Cody at WrestleMania. I thought it was, destined, but now maybe that's a SummerSlam thing for them, and that's where Cody loses the title. I could see a sense with that. But Cody Rhodes versus John Cena is the way you have your two top baby faces for each era to go against each other. And I feel like I can't spend too much time on each one because there's like 20 predictions, so we'll go a little faster. Up next, we're going to have the championship with Gunther. Now, here is the thing. I am now falling in love with the theory of what is a favor with CM Punk and how does that get him to WrestleMania? Is it something where the favor's not being done for a long time and no one knows really what the favor was? They just said favor to say favor. I'm in the camp that's starting to believe maybe Gunther is the champion and Seth Rollins wins Royal Rumble or Elimination Chamber. And if that happens, then CM Punk decides, you know what? I'm cashing in a favor. Paul Heyman, get me somehow, some way in that WrestleMania main event. And we have this triple threat with Gunther, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins. Now, I really want Drew to be a part of it. I think a fatal four-way between the four would be an amazing way to have some insane matches between the four. Some blood, everyone hates each other type of match. But, it's hard to see what could happen. I think Seth and CM Punk cannot just be done. The feud cannot just be done. There has to be some other blow off between it. And I truthfully believe that Gunther versus Seth versus CM Punk could be a way where you get Punk the championship and maybe protect Gunther and then set up Seth and CM Punk or in some shape, way, or form. I don't know. This is more just yap, but I do believe it could be something like this. Up next, we have Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky. Now, Io Sky has been the one person I have been hoping wins the Royal Rumble. I've been actually yelling in the top of my lungs that Io Sky would win the Royal Rumble for a long time now. And this would be the match. I think when I did my predictions back in August, I think this was the prediction I had. Was it this or was it Bianca? It's either or. I am more in the camp to believe Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky could be the match that we see because of I really wanted Io Sky to be more heel, and then Damage Control is kind of her thing where she kind of really helps Damage Control, go against Rhea Ripley. It's Rhea Ripley versus Damage Control, and Io Sky somehow beats Rhea Ripley because of underhand tactics with Damage Control. But I don't know how likely that is anymore. these are just the two women that I could see have an insane match at WrestleMania, and I think it's a way that you get Rhea Ripley to go against somebody that's a good heel. Maybe it's Becky now, maybe it's Flair if she's not going against Tiffany Stratton, but that's who I'm gonna say. And speaking of Tiffany Stratton, she finally has the championship from these predictions. I'm going with Charlotte Flair, and I expect Charlotte Flair to actually beat a Tiffany Stratton because I think they're gonna make Charlotte Flair a more heel, a more rude character, and her against Tiffany Stratton has been a dream match. I think it's going to happen, and I could see this being the way that Tiffany Stratton loses the championship, and then Tiffany Stratton has to, again, climb to win that championship again. Up next, we have Sheamus. My prediction is Sheamus is going to win the title, which I'm uploading this. But I think the day of Saturday night's main event. My prediction is Sheamus has the championship. Now, if he doesn't, I think Sheamus is in the IC title picture no matter what. No matter what, he's still in that IC title picture, and maybe this is where he wins it. And I have him going against Chad Gable. Now, there was a couple people I kind of kept switching off of. Dominic Mysterio was one. Ilya Dragunov was one. Chad Gable's here because I took him out of the U.S. title picture because I've been thinking LA Knight as champion going against Chad Gable would be the match where Chad Gable beats LA Knight to win that championship. But I think more than likely we're not going to see that. I think it is going to be Sheamus versus Chad Gable for the IC title, but I had Bronson Reed even a while ago. But Bronson Reed's out for WrestleMania, so it's kind of hard to say, but I like this as the matchup for now. Up next, we have the U.S. title ladder match, which I think with the U.S. title, there's been a lot of, sharks around that's been trying to get this title. I think a way to get this off Shinsuke is by having a title match or a triple threat instead, so you don't let Shinsuke take the pin. I think getting Shinsuke to have I don't know if I want him to have this title entering WrestleMania. I want LA Knight to potentially go against Jacob Fatu for the title. I think there's a way that you give this title to Carmella Hayes or Trick Williams or someone like that, someone young, and boost with this title in a way that kind of screws over other people. I think Carmella probably wins it right here. But I wanted Trick in here because I think Trick is going to get a call-up, I think, to SmackDown, so they can have that Carmella and Trick potential feud in the future. I like this prediction. I think more than likely the U.S. title should be the ladder match and should be a big match. Now, I wonder if they don't do a ladder match because Royal Rumble was just a ladder match. But I do believe that you have a lot of sharks around that wants this title, and this is a way that you can really pay off for everybody that's been trying to go after this title. Up next, and I think it's now the women's mid-card. It is. I have Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch. I am 50-50 on this one. I think Becky could be a heel that goes after Rhea Ripley, our main title. But if you want to do a compelling story with the Intercontinental title, I think Lyra Valkyria going against, again, Becky Lynch, and she's the champion now, and loses to a Becky Lynch that's a heel, could give some kind of power towards the title. Could show that if Hall of Famers are going against this title actually matters. Put that title on Becky Lynch, let somebody else then beat Becky Lynch for that title. I like this as a prediction. Does it happen at WrestleMania or does it happen at SummerSlam? I could see it also happening really at SummerSlam. Up next, we have Chelsea Green versus Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez is going to be a superstar in WWE. I just don't know what's her way to WrestleMania. Could it be, and I made this really before Bayley and Roxanne had this little thing going on, could it be Bayley versus Roxanne at WrestleMania? I could see that, but I actually really like Roxanne Perez versus Chelsea Green at WrestleMania. Could it also be Jordynne Grace versus Chelsea Green at WrestleMania? I don't know what entirely it's going to be, but I truthfully believe that Roxanne Perez, when she gets called up to the main roster, is going to have like a Braun Breaker run where she's really pushed heavily and pushed to the moon. And I'm hoping it's against Chelsea Green where she wins the title and she gets pushed all the way up and gets pushed to get a mid-card title. Up next, we have New Day versus the Usos. So I don't know exactly what Jimmy and Jay might do for WrestleMania. I've been trying to think of different ways what they could do, different ideas that they could have for WrestleMania. I am now thinking that a way that you could pay off something at WrestleMania is the New Day having the titles entering Raw, or got it on Raw, entering WrestleMania, and you have the Usos versus New Day, but now they're flipped. Always the Usos and the New Day had the chemistry. You have this happening at WrestleMania where the Usos get the titles back, maybe not for a long time, for a little bit of time, and then you kind of let them have their singles career again. But this is a way where you have both of them on the card and you showcase the heel New Days like you had. Because right now they're getting tremendous heat and you need to be like, put some titles on them. Up next, we have a WWE Tag Team Street Fight. I don't even know if you can do this. We have like six tag teams here. DIY, Pretty Deadly, American Made, who's kind of thrown in, but I could see them go with... I'm forgetting who. I'm really forgetting who. It's whatever. American Made, MCMG, Legado del Fantasma, and Street Profits. I debated putting Lucha Bros on here, but I think they're more of a Raw tag team. And does Rey Fenix even come before WrestleMania? Probably not. Pause. I think that this is going to be a big payoff for WrestleMania. I think the tag team division has been very good on SmackDown, and they've been kind of showing that anybody could win at any time. If that is the case for them, you kind of have this thing where let them have an all-out brawl. Let them all have an insane brawl on WrestleMania, and you have 12 people going at it, going insane, and having this insane matchup where you get one, fall, you're good. I want this to happen. I kind of need this to happen. But I can also see him doing a ladder match again. I think that, truthfully, you have to have a big payoff for this tag team division. Up next, we have kind of the women's tag team division where I kind of don't know what to do. I have Metaphor versus Candice LeRae and Nia Jax. I think Nia Jax needs to be on the card in some sense. This is kind of a way where you have her on here. Maybe it's a triple threat with Raquel and Liv Morgan. I think Metaphor should be the tag team holders. They have been insane. They've been great. But does it happen? Is the real question. I don't know. I'm starting to believe that it's more than likely not. It's going to be a little bit, and maybe you have it still on a main card person to have it for WrestleMania. But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of, maybe the tag titles aren't even on this card. I could see that as well. But there's a way that you can have the women's tag titles and you have it in still a big type of match. Up next, we're going with non-title matches. Now, this one's going to start off a little crazy. And I don't think with how Jey Uso just beat Drew McIntyre just lost to Seth Rollins, how likely this is. I think Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre is a huge match. WrestleMania worthy, SummerSlam worthy, one of those. And I believe that if there's a way throughout these next couple of months, Drew McIntyre beats Jey Uso. Drew McIntyre beats, kind of already beat Jimmy Uso, beats someone else. What's the odds that if CM Punk's in a world title, if Rock's not here, they transition to have Drew versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania and have him going after the guy who screwed him over in 2022? I like this a lot. I just don't see it as much anymore. And that's why I'm thinking maybe it is Punk versus Roman's in a grudge match now. More than anything. Because I think Rock versus Roman needs to happen. But if Rock is not here, then Drew McIntyre, I could see filling that spot where if Drew McIntyre has nothing else for WrestleMania, where it doesn't really look like he has that much, you go after him versus Roman. It's an insane match that I would love to see. Up next, we have Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. Now, I am in the camp that has been predicting Kevin Owens to go against Sami Zayn, and kind of these hints recently on the last Monday Night Raw has kind of shown me that it could be Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. Now, I truthfully want to say, I think if Randy Orton comes back, more than likely it's Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens if Randy Orton's not going after Cody Rhodes. Because Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens is probably the most likely scenario we have where Kevin Owens is trying to go against Cody Rhodes, or Kevin Owens gets screwed over by Randy Orton in that match, ladder match. And then Randy and Kevin have a match at WrestleMania, a big time match where it almost happened at Crown Jewel, but then again, get DQ'd. I think this is the most likely scenario we have where it's going to be big time payoff with a whole almost like year storyline with these two. And yeah, I'm expecting this to be the match for Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. Up next, we have Liv Morgan versus Alexa Bliss. Now, there's two ways I could see Liv Morgan doing at WrestleMania. What could she be doing at WrestleMania? One is Alexa Bliss, to kind of start Alexa Bliss back with Liv Morgan having a little feud there. I could see that being the way to go, where you have maybe Alexa Bliss not immediately entering the title scene. Maybe she has to build herself back up. The other way I could see it is maybe having Judgment Day versus Wyatt Six. I don't think that's a crazy call, a crazy pull. I think it is expected that Wyatt Six should go after the Judgment Day, in my opinion. But I'm more than likely going to say that this doesn't happen, and Liv Morgan and Raquel could be in like a tag team thing instead. I like this, though. I think Judgment Day versus Wyatt Six needs to happen. And this is the way you showcase a lot of people on the big-time stage. Up next, we have Goldberg versus Braun Breaker. If Braun Breaker doesn't have the title, and Gunther still has a title, I think you have Goldberg versus Braun Breaker here. Now, I don't know necessarily if this is 100% going to happen. I could see it where maybe it doesn't happen, and that it's at SummerSlam instead. But I think Braun Breaker should be the one to retire Goldberg. I don't think it should be Gunther. I think Goldberg and Braun Breaker, eerily similar, should be the one to do it. I mean, look at the tattoos that they even have on each of their shoulders. So I'm going to go with Braun Breaker versus Goldberg, but I can see a way where maybe they say, you know what, Goldberg versus Gunther, and it's later on in life. Up next, we have Austin Theory versus Grayson Waller. I had A-Town Down Under. Now I remember. A-Town Down Under in that tag match earlier for SmackDown. But they have to pay this off. If Austin Theory was teasing this face turn and it was going on, they have to pay it off. And I'm guessing the reason why they wanted to pay it off is because it was going to happen at WrestleMania. You have Austin Theory versus Grayson Waller. That's a kind of good WrestleMania match. Maybe it's the SmackDown after WrestleMania. Maybe it's the Raw after WrestleMania. Maybe they lose the tag titles because Grayson Waller punches Austin Theory. I could see something like that. But it's hard to see with a stacked card how likely this match happens. Because more than likely to me, it's kind of past. It's kind of past now where you kind of screwed yourself out from doing this match. Up next, we have Penta versus Rey Mysterio. This is a match every single person wants. This is a match that I'm not going to act like I'm unique for predicting this match. But I think that it's more than likely we're going to get Penta versus Dominic Mysterio at WrestleMania. I think WrestleMania is going to be a way where they show off Penta tremendously. And I truthfully am seeing that they might not give it to Rey Mysterio versus Penta and wait till Penta turns heel, maybe on Rey Mysterio, and then this is a big feud for the future. Maybe even, and stay with me, maybe they have this match to just have a nice match and Penta turns heel here. And if Backlash really is in Mexico, like they do, they have that the main event in for Backlash, because I think that is another way where you kind of have a, payoff to that. And I think it would be an amazing match for Backlash with Penta being more heel. Now, Penta's loved right now. So there is a way where Penta's not really getting that heel kind of love right now. I think that it's a good way where you kind of have Penta be the babyface, go against Dominic Mysterio, but if you want him to really just have a one-on-one, who's the better luchador, you have this match at WrestleMania. Up next, we have Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu. Is it too early to have a Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sikoa? Because right now, Solo Sikoa didn't say anything in that promo. Jacob Fatu's been cooking in 2025 already. I could see a way where they kind of push Jacob Fatu and push him into some big feud. Solo Sikoa is a big feud. This is a match. This is a payoff kind of feud, in my opinion. I could see these two going against each other. I could see it happening later on in life. I could see Jacob Fatu creating his own bloodline as well. There's a lot of ways you can go with this match. And I don't know if it's because I'm a Jacob Fatu standboy, but I'm going to say I like this match, and I think it should happen at WrestleMania. Up next, we have Uncle Howdy versus Braun Strowman. If the Wyatt Six aren't happy with Judgment Day, Braun Strowman has to be on this card in some way. I love this match, and I think this match should be where they lead the Uncle Howdy storyline, especially if Uncle Howdy's on SmackDown. Braun Strowman is now on SmackDown. You have this storyline with Uncle Howdy and Braun Strowman trying to recruit him back to the Wyatt Six, and it's not working, not happening. I just think that this is destined to happen. It's just win, and I'm going to go with WrestleMania to have, Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt Six be involved. Up next, we have Jade Cargill versus Bianca Belair versus Naomi. I'm expecting that Naomi gets caught to be finding out that she was the one that did the injury to Jade Cargill. Bianca Belair might have not known about it, but Jade Cargill blames Bianca Belair for just running over and not caring about her anymore. So Jade Cargill turns half heelish. Naomi's fully heel. Bianca Belair is still the face in this situation. And we have a triple threat between the three. It's a way that you can protect Jade Cargill, because I know you're probably worried to have a true one-on-one match. I like this at WrestleMania. I'm expecting this to happen, because I think it's a way that you have Naomi was the one to do it. Bianca's pissed at Naomi. Bianca's mad at Jade Cargill because Jade Cargill is mad at Naomi and Bianca Belair. Jade Cargill is pissed at Bianca, and she's kind of pushing Bianca and like saying it's your fault. And Jade Cargill's turning more heelish, while Naomi's a heel, a true heel. And Bianca's the more face in this, because I don't think you can turn Bianca heel. Up next, we have Logan Paul versus Bad Bunny. I think this is my last prediction. Logan Paul has to be on this card in some shape, way, or form. I hope to God it's not against Gunther. I hope to God it's not against John Cena. I know Bad Bunny wants to have a match. I know Bad Bunny wants to be involved. Good way to have a celebrity match. I think Logan Paul versus Bad Bunny could be a way to do it. Does it happen? Does it not? I don't know. But that is my predictions. I hope you enjoy. Let me know anything down in the comments below. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.